you from?
Started as an East Coast vibe, now I'm going worldwide. We got this bitch going crazy. I used to take the Mazda for a drive, now I'm on the 405 like it's fuck you, pay me. We really sick of standing outside, had to push them all aside. It's what you get for trying to play me. I bet they make a movie when I die just to talk about my life. They need an actor to portray me. I got this motherfucker clear like an eye drop. I got elevator flow on a high top. I got little something stacked like an IHOP. This is 05, you will put it on your iPod. I'ma give you something that you can't forget. Put the price up, baby, add the tax a bit. Know you saw the comma, thought it was an accident. Well, it wasn't. It's about time, the kids buzzing. I'm trying to get a peek in the elevator. But if we talking peaks, I need mine like the Himalayas. I'm talking yay high, man, I never had a vertical limit. I ain't seen you put in work in a minute. I gotta put on for the family. That goes for every person that's in it. Used to scrape by working as a service attendant till I got more. Bitch, I ain't comfy, I need the top floor. Doing anything to get that spot for. Pop off. Started as an East Coast vibe, now I'm going worldwide. We got this bitch going crazy. I used to take the Mazda for a drive, now I'm on the 405 like it's fuck you, pay. We really sick of standing outside, had to push them all aside. It's what you get for trying to play me. I bet they make a movie when I die just to talk about my life. They need an actor to portray me. I ain't settling for nothing that be under an M. There's only one of me, there's 100 of them. Gotta listen close, I drop hundreds of gems. From the start, no, I wasn't pretend. With the world on my back, had to drop my own ego. Problems at the crib, we couldn't fix at Home Depot. That was on tilt, mom's off the vino. Room full of smoke like we lived in a casino. She know, day I moved out is when I opened my eyes. Looking for the truth like God, show me a sign. I'm not religious or the holiest kind, but the blessings came to me when I opened my mind. I was running around the city, man, I knew I had to make some. Wasn't raised a thief, but if I had to, I would take some. Worked the Frito-Lay, I was writing on my breaks, son. Plotting on a record, waiting for the day we break one.
No, I was just, no, I'm really busy, just wrapping up some stuff in the studio. Yeah, everything's good. I mean, it's just been a lot of, like, settling in and whatnot. Yeah. I'm not really sure when I'm coming back. I don't have any plans of it right now, but, I'm just figuring a lot of shit out right now. I don't know. There's just, like, a lot going on. No, I'm not talking to any girls.
I need all the wins, yeah. Ain't no L's, I gotta get a no call and quits, yeah. Gotta keep on moving no matter how hard it gets, yeah. Better move out the way cause I'm coming with harder hits. My head is as hard as a brick, but I'm harder than all of this. You better move, you might get knocked out, knocked out. You better move, you might get knocked out, knocked out. You better move, you might get knocked out, knocked out. You better move, you might get knocked out, knocked out. My heart on my sleeve.
What is going on, everybody, and welcome to the Designated Spittaz. We are back and ready to roll. First and foremost, Derek, how you doing, my friend?
I'm doing good, man. How you doing?
I'm doing wonderful, man. As we said before, baseball's back, but now I feel like I'm even more in the swing of things because baseball has got me angry again. So now I really feel like
you're in mid-season form.
I'm in mid-season form. The voice, I'm finding something with the voice to keep it strong, so it's slowly getting to where I feel like, all right, I could just scream and go nuts every now and then when I have to, but
yeah,
it's getting there. I'm finding the right rhythm for it, but I had a good little game today.
Yeah, I mean
Gerrit Cole was decent.
Yeah, Cole, he showed up. Yeah, he's kind of putting the home run thing in the rear view mirror. I mean, he's no home runs through 4 starts.
I was about to say, yeah, man. I didn't want to. I was live when I was gonna look that up. I said, I don't remember him giving a home run up at all. And then I said, I don't want to say nothing because knowing my luck, once I say it, he's gonna hit a home run. So thankfully, he has not. And we're gonna get to Gerrit Cole. We're gonna talk about that. But again, chat, thank you guys for being here. We appreciate you guys. Do us a favor and smash that like button. Hit it up. We're closing in on 100 people already here. So hit that like button, and we're going to get right into the show right now because guess what, everybody? After this, I'm going to go see Super Mario Brothers. Okay? That's it. Damn right. I got Super Mario on my mind, guys, so I'm pumped up. I'm ready to rock and roll, and we're going to get right into it. Let's jump right into the first topic, and of course, that has to do with our friend Giancarlo Stanton. The Yankees are going to miss G for a little bit of time, as it is reported he has a grade 2 strain. This is from Marley Rivera. She says, after undergoing imaging earlier Sunday, Giancarlo Stanton has been diagnosed with a grade 2 left hamstring strain, sources tell ESPN. So, Derek, with that being said, I saw some people going, that's 2 to 4 weeks. No, it's not. That's a 4 to 6 week thing if it's a grade 2, if not longer. When are you expecting him to be back?
What is today? April 15th. So let's say somewhere between June 1st and June 15th would be my estimation. 8 weeks would be probably about right because he's going to have to take some rehab games. Yep. He's going to have to do the baseball activities. He's going to be shut down for a while. And he's one of these guys that he re-injures himself all the time. So they're going to be super, super careful with him. I mean, this guy's legs are just dog shit, man. What is wrong with this guy?
They're you know what it is? I mean, look, everybody talks very, very highly of him. When I spoke to Ozzie Guillen specifically about him, I just asked him, I said, what is the issue there? One, apparently, which I think we know, and I don't want anybody to feel like Ozzie Guillen, degraded Stan. He loved him. He said Stan's a great guy, great teammate, and just a great person. One, he's a party animal. I don't know if that has anything to do or has carried over to New York. I don't know. But two, the turf on his knees. I've been told his knees are absolutely shot. Mm-hmm. And I know people, say the same thing, and I get it. I get it. I get you want him out there. You want him running around. You want him to be on his legs a little more because you would hope that maybe prevents injuries. I just feel like this guy can't be on his legs much more than he is. I mean, I don't know how much more you could baby a guy. Right. G is just injury prone. Those legs are really beat up.
Staying healthy is a skill. I mean, some guys just can't do it. Remember Slade Heathcott just came up, had all the talent in the world, couldn't stay healthy. Greg Bird can't stay healthy. Miguel Landua. Some guys just have problems. It's just, it's a combination of, DNA or genetics.
Yeah.
And, probably a little bit of bad luck, probably had a tough injury somewhere. And I just don't think there's any fixing it. I think what you got to do is just turn this guy into Nelson Cruz. Say just DH and jog. I don't want you going. If you hit the ball off the fence and you get stuck at first base, we're not going to give you a hard time about it. Right. Because I love the hustle from everybody, and honestly, I thought it was gone, so I don't blame him. The whole ballpark thought that ball was gone. I don't blame him for kind of taking it easy out of the box.
He still ended up on second too.
Yeah, he's on second. So. If he had gotten thrown out, maybe this is a thing. Thrown out and get hurt, that's a bad luck. But I don't know, maybe it was spin, maybe it was off the end of the bat. I don't know. But the point is, the guy hammered the baseball. I'd be okay if he ended up on first, on that and just stayed in the line. I understand. You can't run. That's just how it is.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I'm right there with you, man. I mean, look, when G's on the field, he's been productive. To start this year, I was laughing because I made a video about his sample size of not striking out, and then ever since I made the video, he just keeps striking out. But he's still been extremely productive. I mean, and that's the thing about Giancarlo Stanton, and the point you bring up makes all the sense in the world. He just got to be one of those guys right now where, look, you're not an outfield option. You're just not. I mean, the best thing you can do is be on this field, and the only way that we feel is best to keep you on the field is if, as you said, you DH, hit a long ball, hit a ball in the gap. If it's not a jog-in double, to hell with it. Leave it at a single. Yeah. If we got to pinch run you late in games all the time, which they were already doing, we're okay with that too. But we cannot afford to continuously have you on the IL. And there might not be much you could do about it, to be fair. Because at some point playing baseball, you got to run. You got to move a little bit. And he got hurt last year, if you remember. Remember, he hurt his leg swinging last year. So I'm just like, I don't know how much bubble wrap we have in the world.
I mean, when you get hurt doing baseball shit, I mean, it's one thing if you got to make a funky slide,
right,
or you collide with somebody,
right,
or you run into a wall. Like, I'm okay with that. If you take a swing on a changeup and tear your bicep, it's like, come on. Remember that the first time he faced John Means, I think it was the first game of the season in April a couple years ago.
Yeah.
Struck out on a changeup, out for 6 weeks.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, jogging onto the field essentially in spring training a couple years ago. Just little things. I mean, his hamstrings, they must be like tighter than freaking violin wire.
I'm laughing because I wish I had the tweet in front of me. Somebody showed, I guess it was either like a drumstick, or it was a drumstick of some sort of animal. Mm-hmm. And he lifted up, banged it on the table, and he said, "This is Giancarlo Stanton's legs," and it just melted off of it. It just fell right off the bone.
Oh, man.
And it's like, unfortunately, that's G. And look, you know, a lot of times we want to find things to blame. We want to find, is it the training staff? Are they doing this? Are they doing that? I just think it's as simple as, look, Giancarlo Stanton is a physical specimen. He works out a ton. It's obvious. His muscles are tight, and he's just a guy at this point that's injury prone. His knees are beat up from playing on turf all that time. He was a very good outfielder. He plays the game hard in the sense that you could tell he wants to be out there. He's very accountable. I can't hate the guy. I can't find a reason to dislike him. I could be upset about his injuries, but man, oh man, I mean, G has been accountable on every single thing that's ever happened. Never runs away from the media, is always there. I just wish that this guy could stay healthy because this lineup needs him. And now they may not have him for 6 weeks plus. And it's, at this point, does this mean we're going to get more Aaron Hicks? Are we just going to have more and more Aaron Hicks in our face?
So Hicks was 0 for 3 today with 3 strikeouts. One of those was a bad call by the umpire, but I feel like he's so...
It's the one I'm showing right now on the screen, I believe, is the bad call one.
He's so far gone, man. You know, when I heard Oswald Peraza was in the ballpark this morning, I saw the tweet, Oswald Peraza's in the ballpark, and I was like, oh no, something happened to Anthony Volpe. But then I remembered that Stanton got pinch run for, and I said, well, maybe it makes sense to call up Peraza for Stanton, and that's what it is. But with Donaldson coming back, I wonder if they're going to send Peraza back down.
Yeah, they already said it, and that was one of my beefs. That was one of my beefs today, and why I put out the tweet I put out. And I'm gonna go ahead and cut over to that first tweet. I think I got both of them. Yeah. So let me go to this one first. This is regarding Oswald Peraza. Let me flip over to that real quick. So my tweet about Peraza is rather simple. I said the treatment of Peraza so far by the Yankees management is borderline criminal. I did put the laugh out loud after that because obviously, you know, it's a joke. There's meaning to it, but not criminal. They really treat the kid as if he's a role player and not one of baseball's top prospects. And that I do mean. That I do mean 100%. During last year, and I just want to go by what evidence I have of this. So if anybody goes, Pete, that's unfair. Well, here's my evidence. Let me present my case. Last year, Oswald Peraza got called up, not because I believe the Yankees wanted him to. I believe they called him up because Aaron Boone made an ass out of himself. And I spoke about this many times. He was going around every media possible, talking about how great IKF is, and everybody's giving him shit back going, what are you watching? And all of a sudden, if you remember, it came out of nowhere. Peraza gets called up, and he's up in the majors. To the point, he's also not even starting. They don't start. They refuse to play him. Boone came out and goes, oh, well, you know, he'll get experience, you know, just being up here. It's a good experience for him. Some truth to that, understandable, but being a top prospect, you want them up and you want them playing. Here comes spring training. I put out another tweet going, I don't like that Aaron Boone has decided to shit on Peraza. Everybody got mad at me. Oh, but I thought that's what you want Boone to do. Yes, but I want it to be an overall thing. You can't do it on one guy and let Hicks, IKF, Donaldson, all these guys off the hook all the time. Peraza again gets the brunt of brunt of negative energy from Boone. Whatever. Then he gets called up today, and the first comment I read is from Aaron Boone is, when Donaldson's back on Tuesday or Wednesday, we're sending him back down.
Oh, rough.
Not even maybe he'll start a game. We don't know how long he'll be up, but he's going to get some time to play. Simply, when Donaldson's back, he's gone. And I don't get it. I really don't get it at this point.
Well,
that this is a top 50 prospect in Major League Baseball, and the Yankees are just shitting on this kid left and right.
at least they're being honest with us this time and saying they're going to,
True.
dick him over. I'm surprised he came out and said that. I didn't hear it. But, first of all, Peraza is a better player than Donaldson, in my opinion, at this point.
No question.
And I think, he should have every opportunity to play while he's on the roster.
Oh, Boone, by the way, said he has no chance of third base either. They wouldn't play him at third base.
That's dumb. I mean, look, I get it. You got 3 different third basemen that have pretty good gloves. I guess he's there to back up Glaber. But, yeah, I mean, you're right. They're mistreating him. But I don't think that Peraza is necessarily like – the Peraza situation is a symptom of a larger problem, which is that this whole roster was constructed wrong in the first place.
I'm going to get to that next.
There's no fucking reason for Hicks and Donaldson to even be here anymore. That's 2 roster spots that should have young players. When Stanton got hurt, I think the first move that I would have made would be to just cut Aaron Hicks completely.
Thank you.
And call up Andres Chaparro to take his 40-man roster spot because he's been absolutely killing it. Capture the red hot bat and just see if he can ambush the league. I mean, he's an unranked prospect. He's been absolutely killing the ball. He seems like he's one of these guys that's taking strides. That would have been the sort of the obvious move. Instead, you're taking Peraza out of the lineup today to come up and essentially be a backup for a day. They're off tomorrow. Yep. And then, so he's going to be out. You're disrupting his rhythm. He's going to be out of the lineup for 3 or 4 days. And then apparently Donaldson comes back on Wednesday, maybe.
Thursday. Yep. And
even if you play Peraza on Tuesday, he hasn't taken a swing in 3 or 4 days. What do you expect?
That's right. And it's just unbelievable. And this is the tweet that I was referencing. The Yankees are prioritizing Hicks, JD, and IKF over Peraza, Dunham, and Chaparro, who would all make this team much more exciting and fun to watch. The Yankees are an ass-backwards organization. And Derek, I just some things like this you really just got to come out and say. And look, there's a lot of people out there that disagreed with that. And thank you to Frankie, by the way, because I put another tweet out saying, I mean, the Yankee propaganda machine is working because people think like the Yankees are the Royals. And they can't simply just say, hey, Hicks, we're paying you already, but you shouldn't take up the spot no more, so we got to bite the bullet.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that the Yankees overnight just simply go, we're going to cut all of our deadwood. They could, but I don't expect them to. You know what I expected, Derek? And you already just alluded to it. I expected that when the last out was made, the Yankees had a plan. 4 months. 4 months. They had a plan to maybe sit there and go, Hicks and IKF shouldn't be here.
Yeah.
If we do believe in Donaldson, if we do think that his glove is good enough for us to go with another year, okay. If that's what you want to do. Hell, if you said that with IKF, okay.
Yeah.
But the fact of the matter is, Derek, that they're all back and they've all been unproductive so far.
Yeah.
It's early, I get it. But Hicks looks horrible.
Hicks is hitting 136. He struck out 8 times and walked once. And walking is like the best part of his game.
Yep.
174 on base percentage, 136 slugging. So all of his hits have been singles. When you talk about choosing, who you're going to roll with of this trio, if you're not going to get rid of all 3 of them, I think the guy I would have stuck with is IKF because he's that third catcher, right? And none of the other 2 guys can give you that. So that's like a valuable piece that I don't mind. You pay a little bit high of a price for a utility guy, $6 million, but you're really paying for that third emergency catcher. It's kind of got to way you got to look at it. Donaldson, I think it's been clear to everybody that his bat was just done. We saw a little bit in spring training of some stuff, but then when it came to the regular season, he's still doing the same shit. And then Hicks, I mean, he's just the fact that he's still on this roster.
I'm shocked, man.
Is one of the most unbelievable things in my 35 years as a fan. This guy is so obviously done.
Derek, my wife is just now into baseball. Right? She watches every game because obviously she's moderating. She syncs things up. She puts videos out for me. I asked her today. I said, Aaron Hicks. She knows all the players now. I said, if you obviously never watched baseball. Out of all the people you've watched the Yankees bat, is he the worst guy that you've seen play? And she said flat out, yeah. I'm shocked that he's on the New York Yankees of all teams.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, there's your great answer. I am shocked he's on the New York Yankees of all teams. fans out there who are telling me and Derek and whoever else says these things, but they're owed money. How can they get rid of them? Again, let me rephrase what I just said. They are the New York Yankees.
Right.
One, their salaries are already in the books. That doesn't change. Their salaries are there. It's obvious, if we are to believe anything. Joe Sherman, by the way, put this out a couple of weeks ago. I don't know if you saw it, Derek, but there was apparently, I don't know if I believe this, apparently there was a trade on the table that would have sent Hicks to the Rockies for 50% of his salary paid by the Yankees. The Yankees rejected it because they felt he would do better this year than last year. And they'd rather just try to play him. So anybody who knows about that, we actually talked about that a while when it was released. But you could go look that up. Joe Sherman put that out. That was just a couple of weeks back. But my beef, again, is roster construction. And I'm sorry, but I give Brian Cashman his credit. I give him credit when he finds that little piece. But what is the process? What is the process that he's talking about? What is that? If I could ask him one thing, I would say, Brian, do me a favor. Can we break down the process on paper? Who's involved in this process? What is it?
The process is just like this abstract theory that seems to be, in the cloud somewhere look, it's a combination of analytical people, baseball people, George's leftover people, Brian's new hires out of Fordham. Everybody's got to work there
right.
who comes from Fordham. I feel like it's a classic case of too many cooks in the kitchen. I think that's the process.
That's good.
I feel like they need to maybe streamline the process a little bit. Like we talked about many times, there needs to be somebody at the top setting the direction. And I don't feel like Hal is involved at a granular level to set the direction. I feel like Hal is there for things like, well, let's make investment opportunities. Let's close the deal on Judge with a phone call, yada, yada, yada. Let's make sure that we get the right VIPs at the stadium and all that type of business stuff. But there needs to be a baseball system in place that's cutting edge. You got the resources to go beyond what the Dodgers do, to go beyond what the Rays do. There's no reason any of the great baseball minds in the world should be working anywhere but for the New York fucking Yankees. And the fact that they are, or that they're going to other organizations, is a red flag, first of all. And this mysterious process, I feel like if you can't quantify it somehow, and it's just this vague representation of the system, the gears grinding, then it's not really a process. A process is something that's very systematic,
correct,
very
exactly.
streamlined, and this is not that.
And there's an end goal. And according to Brian Cashman himself, his own words, the end goal doesn't mean the process. If the end goal is not a win, that doesn't mean the process isn't working. Which to me is why you have a process.
Yeah.
Because you look for a specific result. Now, we do know the Yankees can't win every year. We understand that as fans. But to convince me that there's a process and that we are indeed a World Series caliber team every single year. Derek, I'm sorry. I can't see guys like Elijah Dunham. I can't see Chaparros, even just based on spring training.
Yeah.
Even just based on that. I can't see a team that really is in it to win it that says these guys are better. It's fine. Don't worry about it. We know what we're doing here.
Well, they must have some kind of StatCast thing that they're going by, the metrics that they don't like, because the guys are putting up good AAA numbers. They look comfortable. And like we said, they look good in spring training. Look, we know that there's a certain degree of chance when you reach the postseason that any team can win it. But given how often the Yankees are in the postseason, I feel like they're doing worse than chance at going all the way, which I feel like it's a statistical anomaly in the wrong direction. And you can say, well, early on in their franchise, if you look at the whole history of the franchise, they did better than average, obviously, but there were less teams and they had the most money. So you expected them to do what they did. Nowadays, I mean, the game is a little bit different. You have all this luxury taxes and revenue sharing and all the competitive balance measures that have been put into play to kind of counteract the Yankees being able to get that advantage. But I still see teams like the Dodgers going out there and doing what it needs to get the young players and to extend guys. I see the Mets cutting Robinson Cano when they owe him money. It's like
the Braves.
Right, the Braves, yeah. Braves calling up somebody from Single A last year, Michael Harris, I think. Yep. And then we see guys like The Martian and Spencer Jones. Well, first of all, Spencer Jones doesn't belong in Single A at this point.
I was telling people the other day, like, Pete, when is he coming up? I said, I wouldn't be shocked. Yeah. It wouldn't shock me if we hear a notification on that anytime soon.
Dude, we should do a designated Spittaz from a Somerset game.
That'd be awesome. We could probably set that up, actually.
Yeah, with Dominguez and Spencer Jones, maybe get
they're gonna be there, man. That outfield soon is gonna be better than the Yankees outfield. It's gonna be Dominguez in left, Jones in center, Everson Pereira in right.
And rehabbing Giancarlo Stanton at DH.
If you're lucky enough, if you really want to see him in a couple of days, Somerset, you get to see Josh Donaldson. So hey, best of luck to you guys. Have the beers ready that day. You might need quite a bit of them. But I mean that's my rant on that. I mean, it comes down again to roster construction. It just bothers me as a fan that I know we could be watching a much more exciting product, but it's like the people at the top are just sitting there going, "You guys don't know as much as we do, not at all." And I'm not saying that we do. I'm not saying that we have the ins and outs of what's happening behind the scenes. I understand that, but the fact of the matter is, we see what happens on the field. We see what happens on the field. We see the responses sometimes that Boone gives, and you go, "Whoa, what? What are you doing here?"
Can I interrupt for a second? That's something that really bothers me. And I talk about this on my channel all the time. New Yorkers, more so than any other fan base, I think, just because of the nature of who they are, where they're from, and the people they grow up with, and they have a very finely calibrated bullshit detector.
Yep.
And when Aaron Boone speaks, he doesn't realize that our bullshit detectors are just going
bingo,
beep,
bingo.
He doesn't. You can't bullshit a bullshitter, right?
That's right.
And you can't piss on a New Yorker and tell us it's raining, and that's what he tries to do, and that's what drives me nuts about Aaron Boone.
Yep. We got a super chat from my man Anthony Garcia. He says Mets traded James McCann for a player to be named later, and he was still owed a little over $20 million for 2 years. That's because they got rid of him. They just dumped him out. They DFA'd him, and they were able to trade him to the Baltimore Orioles. But this is not an uncommon thing. And for some reason, a lot of Yankee fans believe it's never happened before. Hell, Derek, what year was it when the Boston Red Sox were like, we're going to sign all these guys, and they were like, oh, we're going to trade them all to the Dodgers?
Oh,
remember, they traded everybody. Carl Crawford, Gonzalez, the first baseman.
Yeah, Adrian Gonzalez, David Price,
and Carl Crawford.
And they basically just unloaded the salaries for practically nothing. Nothing
at all. They were like, if you guys just want to take them off the books, we'll give them away. And I'm just like, for some reason, fans just don't believe it is possible that the Yankees... I got one guy tell me today, yeah, Pete, but the Yankees are stuck with these guys. There's nothing they could do about it. And he even said their money's already on the books. So I'm like, yeah, that's the point.
Yeah.
They could.
You're stuck with their money. You're stuck with their money. You're not stuck with the players.
That's right.
So here's an interesting concept that a few people have brought up on my channel, which is, what if the Yankees were to package a prospect with a Hicks and a Donaldson or something like that?
Of course.
Who would you be comfortable giving up in order to just somebody to just say, all right, I'll take Donaldson, I'll take Hicks, but you got to give me Spencer Jones, or you got to give me Roderick Arias. I'd be totally fine with dealing Roderick Arias and just, you invested that money.
Are you talking about do we get rid of both of them? Both guys?
Get rid of both guys, but you got to give up a top prospect.
I'll give them Pereira, and I love him, but we got too much outfield prospects as it is.
Yeah,
I'd do an Everson Pereira type deal. Why not?
With Dominguez and Jones, I think Pereira would fit. But would Pereira be worth that amount? It might have to be somebody like a Roderick,
top guy. Yeah, that's a tough one. But even just and I want people to understand this too, guys. I'm literally here talking about the youth that we all want to see. I'm not saying go out there and trade a contract for a contract, get Hicks gone, and go ahead and put, some other outfielder that's older and doesn't really have it. Elijah Dunham had a great spring. He's hitting 286 right now in AAA. 4 doubles, 1 home run, good speed, very solid defender in the outfield. And I'm also not saying that this guy should start every day. But in the way they got Aaron Hicks in there taking up a spot, I'd much rather give it to a young prospect, a young player who has good speed, good defense, much more athletic, could pop one every now and then, and it's more exciting. I mean, really, guys, who would we want? Would we not want to see a couple of games a week? Andre Chaparro coming up for the Yankees right now, just for the excitement of it.
Yeah.
We're done past these guys.
It's exciting to think about those young players. If they come up and they stink, like Estevan Florial did, it can be extremely frustrating as well.
It happens. We know that too. That's a part of life of the minor leagues of young guys coming up.
But I think just in terms of watching, I'd rather watch Elijah Dunham take at-bats and try and adjust to Major League pitching than watch Aaron Hicks do the same shit. Yep. I'd rather watch Chaparro, come up and try and hit some nukes than, watch Donaldson take at-bats, so.
Yeah, and even like Yankees Farm in here said, who, by the way, is a great channel. If you guys are not subscribed to Yankees Farm,
great channel.
Go do it. We're doing great work together. He's doing amazing work also on NyynewsTV.com, the Farm Report. There is no other site out there giving you the video of that day, plus the whole entire recap on the minor league system. So that's out nightly. That is Dane, and that is, of course, Yankees Farm. So let's get him to 1,000 subs. He's almost there. But yeah, man, I mean, that's my only beef overall, is that a lot of times we want these young guys up and people scream about it and they want them up, and then the season comes in and they just eat up the propaganda of, no, they're stuck with these guys. They have to deal with them, and they don't really have to. They don't really have to. But moving on from that, we had a start today from our ace, Gerrit Cole, that was phenomenal. 9 innings pitched. Yes, it was a complete game shutout from Gerrit Cole. 2 hits, 1 walk, 10 Ks. Derek, would I be insane to say that this is Gerrit Cole from his last year from Houston?
Well,
he's looking like that, in my opinion.
I mean, obviously he's having his best year as a Yankee so far without the sticky stuff. I mean, he had a stretch with the sticky stuff right before they banned it. You remember everybody was there was something like 8 no-hitters in 10 days or some ridiculous. Yep. People going out there with super glue and just
Gorilla Glue. Balls don't even fly out of their damn hands. They just hold on to it.
But I think this is the best natural Gerrit Cole that there's ever been. I also think that, he's got a leg up in the Cy Young just because I think he's going to throw more innings than everybody else. Shohei has obviously been unbelievable, but people forget he's in a 6-man rotation because he also plays the field and hits and all that shit. Yeah. So I would love to see Gerrit Cole continue this for about 10 starts. Get to 10-0. Get that.
Awesome.
I love it when somebody starts off.
He's 4-0 right now.
4-0. A 10-0 start the All-Star game. That's kind of, and then maybe kind of cruise in the second half a little bit, and then be ready for the postseason. I think he's having his best year, and we talked about it before we went live. Keeping the ball in the ballpark.
Oh yeah, that's a major factor. The one thing that I've noticed about him, maybe you've noticed the same, is I think his biggest difference is 2 things. One, the fastball command has been phenomenal. So he's never leaving anything over the middle of the plate. It's either up, it's on the corners, maybe a little too far outside. But he's doing a very, very good job of missing that center of the plate. Mm-hmm. And the second thing is, I don't have evidence of this because I don't know the numbers. But what I have noticed, and I would love to know if it's correct, last year he threw his changeup a lot more and got hit and got a lot of homers off that pitch. He would go to his secondary pitches a little more in big situations. I have noticed this year he's going a lot more fastball, slider, knuckle curve than the changeup. He threw a couple of changes today, but I don't feel like he's throwing it as much as he's thrown it last year. Last year he was throwing that pitch a lot, if I remember well.
His pitch distribution this year, he's throwing the changeup about 12% of the time. I'm going to see if I can get 2000
last year. Yeah,
I'm going to get 2022 numbers. So 2022, it was
probably around the same.
8% of the time. He's actually throwing it more.
Wow.
He's throwing it more.
What the hell am I watching then?
The fastball velocity is down almost a mile per hour. So maybe he's sacrificing a little bit of extra velocity for just command.
Yeah.
Yep, which is, it makes sense. He's throwing the slider a little bit less.
Okay. And he's knuckle curve more?
So the curveball, last year he threw it at 10%. Now he's throwing it 13%. So the curveball is up.
Okay.
The fastball is up to 55% from 52% roughly. So the more fastballs, more curveballs, more changeups. It doesn't look like he's throwing the slider as much. Sliders down 3%. And the cutter, he's only thrown 2 of them this year. Last year he threw it 6% of the time. This year it's less than 1%. So, he might have saw that the Clark Schmidt results last year. Last year hitters hit 267 off the cutter with 4 home runs. The main problem last year was that they hit 16 home runs off the fastball. They hit 221. This year so far only hitting 167. So he's gotten better. He's about 60 points better on the batting average. That's a big difference.
Big difference. He just looks phenomenal. I know you mentioned. I think you put a tweet out there talking about the haircut. The haircut is.
Yeah,
it's the haircut, man.
He took it close. He took it down close. I actually I like the kind of longer hair because it's not really a Yankee thing. It's like
it's a little different.
So you're familiar with the folks at Foul Territory because you had Kratz on, you're having Braun on.
Yep.
They had a heated discussion the other day about the facial hair rule.
I'm talking to Braun about that. I told him I got a beef with you, Braun. He said we're going to talk about it. I said we're going to talk about it.
How do you feel? What's your stance on that?
To me, there's just something to tradition. And I know sometimes tradition gets a little old school, but there's something about the uniform.
Yeah.
There's something about the uniform to me. It's a uniform thing for the Yankees.
Yeah.
Look, guys can look dirty. They can still look dirty on the Yankees. Look at Sal Fasano. He was a dirty fuck. I mean, the big mustache, the caterpillar. I like the mustache on the Yankee players.
Yeah.
Why do you think that's why we get so excited about a damn mustache.
Right,
You don't see it. So it's like, oh my God, facial hair. I like the uniform style. I get it. It's not as, up to par in today's standards. Guys want to hold beards. What's the big deal? To me, it's a tradition of the uniform of the New York Yankees. And that's the way I see it and feel about it.
Yeah, I mean, the Yankees don't have names on their uniforms because they try and discourage individuality. It's supposed to be all about the team. People think it's about looking like a banker or looking good on billboards or whatever.
Right.
No, it's about discouraging individuality and putting the pinstripes above all else. That's kind of what it is. But I also kind of agree, that it's 2023, and I mean, what other job? Like if I went into my office job and my boss said, Derek, you got to cut your beard, I'd tell my boss exactly where they can go fuck themselves. Exactly. Go to that corner, go to the southeast corner of the building, and shove it up your fucking ass. That's what I would say. And I mean, you're talking about human beings, and I don't know if any other human being should have the ability to regulate what another person does with their own facial hair, right? I mean, but I get it. There's, going into the Yankees that if you sign there, you got to cut your hair. Yep. What I feel bad for is the guys who get traded and like have dreadlocks or like been growing a beard for. Yeah, like
Andrew
for 2
McCutcheon.
years.
Yeah.
But what's worse is when they get traded there and then they're there for like a week and get cut. And I've been growing this shit for 2 fucking years.
Facts. My thing is, man, like, can you imagine like if the Yankees really one year go, hey, we're gonna get rid of this and whatever, they end up getting like a Brandon Marsh and he looks the way he looks in the Yankees uniform with Philly? I mean, that would be the strangest damn thing in the history of the world. That would be so friggin' weird. I don't think it can happen. I don't think the Yankees, even if they do allow beards, like, we've got relatively short beards. I could see this one day being a thing. I don't think they'll ever allow that, like, stuck in a mine for 2 months beard. Johnny Damon, Red Sox. No. The, man, what the hell did I just want to add on that? It was just something else. Oh my God. I'm having a getting old moment here. Just completely slipped my mind.
35, man. You're too young 35, for that.
I'm too young, and it happens every single day. I forgot I did some shit the other day. I forgot where I put it. I'm walking around the house. It's right in front of my computer. It was there the whole damn time. I'm going nuts about it.
I'm turning 40 next month. And
I still can't believe that. I mean, anybody in the chat, you believe this guy's 40? I think he's bullshitting us, to be honest with you.
I've had a stiff neck for going on 2 months now. 2 months. And I asked the doctor, I said, hey, man, is there anything I can do about this stiff neck? Is there anything like do certain stretches? And they're like, no, that's just what it is now. You just hurt
man.
now. I'm like, oh, great.
Man. The worst part about feeling it is like all of a sudden your knees are cracking all the time. Like you said, I woke up the other day and I must have slept wrong on my side. My whole back left shoulder was like shot. I couldn't lift anything. I couldn't do nothing. So Frankie said he looked 50 by the way.
Oh yeah, tell this to 50 years old.
Hey, look at that. Look at that, Frank. You better watch it. He's gonna get you in a little bicep choke and just flex the muscles on you. But one other thing too, guys, I want to show on the screen real quick. We have done a very good job recently of getting more people to put a 5-star review on Designated Spittaz on Apple Podcasts and, of course, Spotify, wherever you watch podcasts. But, guys, I got it on the screen right there, so go ahead. We are at 5 stars across the board, so thank you guys so much. But go ahead and make sure you do that and leave a 5-star review for us because we deserve it, damn it. That is why you should do it, because we deserve it. So, Derek, Yankees are now moving on. After this, they'll face the Angels. What do you think about that series?
I'm glad we're not going to have to face Shohei as a pitcher, right? Well, actually, you know what? I feel like he's gotten annihilated both times he's come in as a pitcher. But that's not.
I think they try to avoid him facing the Yankees. I really do.
Yeah,
I don't think they like him facing the Yankees. It's weird.
It's like David Price. Just he would somehow get a migraine or a sore toe every time that he had to face the Yankees, especially in Boston. I think the Yankees will beat the Angels at least 2 out of 3.
Yeah.
But I'm a little bit worried about, Clark Schmidt in game 1. I don't know. Right now he's the scheduled pitcher. I feel like I would skip right over him and go right to Brito.
I would. I'm really interested to see the Brito rebound.
Yeah.
This next game is going to tell you a lot about Johnny Brito, and I think it's something to keep your eyes on, guys, because look, he didn't just get beat up. I mean, he got shell-shocked. He got destroyed. I mean, the worst outing you could have, he basically had one of the worst-case scenarios. It's like going in the ring as a fighter and go, well, the worst thing that's going to happen is I'm going to get knocked out. I mean, if I'm comfortable with that, I can move forward. And he got the KO, basically. So how he recovers from this is going to be very, very interesting. And unfortunately, if Clark Schmidt is starting that game, I might be a little too wild for the boys on Tuesday. We'll see how that goes.
Yeah, I feel like the Brito thing, what was encouraging was his attitude afterwards.
Yes.
He was like, let's get right back to work. He was not, oh, woe is me, or, was I tipping my pitches? He didn't look shook. He was like, well, it happens. It's baseball, baby. Let's go.
That's right. And then he's ready to get back out there. I hope he does. Last thing I want to discuss real quick is kind of unfortunately going back to the whole outfield situation. With Stanton being out, what do you do? What is your infield? We don't got to go over all of it, but whatever you want to do. Your infield, your outfield. Is Oswald Peraza, I guess he's not a long-term option, but
no.
I mean,
I think DJ has to get the bulk of the bats at DH, especially if Donaldson's back. I think they're going to play Donaldson until he proves that, to them anyway. He's already proven to me, but until he proves to them that he can't do it anymore. But I want DJ off his feet as much as possible. He's, to me, a guy who really will benefit from being a DH for a while because he can still hit.
As we saw today. I mean, the 2 RBIs are all LeMahieu. Big base hit the right, and then the home run right over the fence.
But we've been talking about, he can't play 5 days a week in the field anymore. He's going to break down, and what do you know? He's breaking down. So, I'm going to use this time, these next 8 weeks, to let DJ be the DH about 3 days a week.
Yeah, I agree with that. And I think the outfield situation has to be Frenchie, Oswaldo, and Judge. I mean, I think that is the outfield you got to run with for a little while. Bader may be starting a rehab assignment pretty soon, so that's good. I think Anthony Volpe is the leadoff hitter going forward. I don't think that changes. With Stanton being out, I think Volpe's going to stay in that spot for good.
Dude, how about the stolen bases? He was just on fire.
He's awesome,
I don't think anybody's going to throw him out.
He does a cool little jump. Like he does 2 hops, and then he just, boom, goes. And the thing about him that people don't understand this a lot of times, when you run, there's a certain thing called your acceleration. Some guys, it takes them a little while to really get the full speed. Volpe's acceleration is like that.
Yeah,
he's like a missile. He's quick.
Yeah, he's got a kinetic lead, so he stays in motion. The one downside to that is it makes you susceptible to a pickoff, because if they turn around and throw while you're in midair, the best you can do, and we saw it one time, he managed to get back. You have to basically plant your feet while you're in midair, and if you ever tried that, it's really hard to do.
Yeah.
And turn and pivot and get back. And he's not very tall, so he doesn't have really the reach to get back if he gets too far. So it's really a science experiment for him to try and figure out, these major league pitchers, and maybe try and get them to make a couple of pickoff throws while you're kind of doing your shorter hops. And then once they've used up their 2 throws, it's like, oh, I can get a bigger hop. And then you go, and you just hope that there's not 2 strikes on the hitter or whatever by that point.
Right. And the other thing I mentioned about Anthony Volpe today, by just watching him for the time we've been able to watch him every single day, is, man, when people talk about this kid's baseball IQ, it's on display almost every day. I don't care what the batting average shows right now. It doesn't matter to me. Anthony Volpe has a lot of the stuff that people pointed out as a real legit advantage for him, and baseball IQ is really one of them. He reads pitchers very well when he's on base. He knows the right time to go. And he does all that well. There was a play the other day that I don't know if a lot of people really paid attention to. He bobbled the ball at shortstop, but the runner was at second base. It was hit in front of him. And he bobbled it, and it went away from him. He immediately had the trigger in his head, go to second base. And he got the guy on the tag at second base.
Yeah.
But a lot of players aren't thinking like that so quickly. One being Gleyber Torres. No disrespect on Gleyber Torres, but when I talk about baseball IQs of a player, I put Anthony Volpe here and Gleyber somewhere down here. There's just a difference.
Different players obviously have different mental skill sets. They also, there's things that Gleyber does that are tough for other. Gleyber hits really well in the clutch, right? Not everybody has that
gene.
Has that gene, right? Gleyber is one of these guys who he's a good base runner without being very fast.
Yes,
he doesn't make a lot of mistakes on the bases. He's a smart base runner. He doesn't steal a ton of bases, but he steals bases. I just think he's a positive on the base pass. But, defensively, he's definitely a step below Volpe in terms of, and we saw it at shortstop. The play that Volpe made the other day where he flipped to Gleyber, I thought Gleyber made a great tag on that.
Yes.
That was a great tag by Gleyber.
It was just a great heads-up baseball play overall. I mean, and those are the type of things that Anthony Volpe brings to the table. So I do expect that Volpe is going to stay there. Now, they did say that Donaldson's probably going to need some DH time early on. So I think you'll see Donaldson get some DH at-bats, and that'll be mixed in with DJ LeMahieu. But the Yankees right now are they were already beat up, and now they're more beat up. And I guess the hope is that we get Bader back pretty soon. The hope is that these young kids continue to perform, and maybe the Yankees are a little more open to letting these guys play. The other option that somebody brought to me was, hey, Pete, is there a situation where the Yankees play LeMahieu over JD and LeMahieu over JD, and then Gleyber gets some DH games and Peraza stays up? And I simply said, no. Yeah. Unfortunately, no. The Yankees have no interest in keeping Peraza up for whatever reason. They just don't.
Yeah, I mean, it makes you wonder what's going on behind the scenes.
Yeah, it really does, because at this point, I would have to believe that there's got to be like a major injury to either Gleyber or, God forbid, to either one of them. I don't want it to happen, but to either Gleyber or Volpe for Peraza to actually get regular playing time is the way I see it.
Wouldn't be shocked if Peraza gets dealt if the Yankees do decide to make a move.
Yeah, I mean, it might personally be the best thing that could happen for him too at this point. Maybe is that he does get moved. So, guys, we have currently right now over 200 plus in here, 113 likes. Guys, hit that like button. Derek, I'll leave it up to you. Do you have any last comments for us?
I mean, I guess just hang in there again with some of these injuries and stuff. The Yankees are not at full strength yet, but we got Rodon coming back. We got Bader coming back. I think we're going to be all right.
Yeah, and Sevy eventually at some point. Somebody will be
fingers crossed.
Let's just hope, there's nothing else. But I even put a tweet about that the other day, is that somebody said, how can you judge the Yankees to right now? And I said, no, I can't, because we haven't seen the Yankees yet, in my opinion. There's a lot of things we could be upset about, a lot of things that we don't, at least for me personally, that I wish the Yankees did better. But at the end of the day, like Derek said, he's right. It is still early in this year. We have been a bit injured, and I just hope to see everybody back, and then we can really see what the New York Yankees are made of, what they're capable of. We haven't even got to see Cole Rodon back-to-back. I can't wait to watch that.
Alex Manoah, 7 earned runs today, 6.98 ERA this year.
Talked all that shit. He shouldn't have talked all that shit, man.
Too many trips to Taco Bell this winter.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. Those Mickey D's chicken nuggets will really get you. You got too much dipping sauce on you there, buddy boy. Too much dipping sauce will get you. People don't understand. A lot of times, the condiments that get you.
It's the calories and the condiments. Absolutely.
Calories and the condiments. Keep the mayo down. Keep that buffalo sauce, barbecue sauces to a limit, Manoah. All right? I wonder if are they big on condiments in Canada? I wonder.
I don't know. I've never been.
Me either. Maybe we got to do a Designated Spittaz live from Canada. Let the Canadian folks
Fuck
see what
Canada.
we're on. With that being said, guys, we are out. Have a great rest of your day. I am going to go see It's a Me, a Simonetti right now, and I'm super duper excited. So, adios, guys. Derek, say goodbye to everyone.
See you later, guys.
Peace. We're out of here. Talk to you guys soon.
Before it hits the front page, NYYnews.